The stresses of life and work can lead to many negative things in a person's life, and sometimes a weekend getaway is all we need to unwind and reset ourselves. That is, unless an unwelcomed guest finds their way to your door on a cold, dark night. My question is, do you let them in, or do you turn off all the lights? Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Confessionals 31 Days of Halloween. And this is Dave from nERD, and I am accompanied by my wife, Jenn, also from nERD. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about the dark hours. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
So, psychiatrist Samantha sets off on a weekend getaway with her husband and sister when Adrian knocks on their door. He was supposed to meet his friends at a neighboring cabin, but it appears to be a horrible trick that they played on him because no one showed up and there's no power. They invite him in, and it is not too long before Adrian draws a gun on them, holding them hostage until his father, Harlan, a former patient of Sam, arrives.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, me too. Why do parents always have to drag their kids into their shit?
I was talking about not from that perspective, but from the perspective that, in the beginning of the film, I'm thinking it's like, oh man, his friends ditched him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that part totally sucks.
And it's wintertime.
Yeah.
And it's cold out.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of this one?
I really like this movie, and one of the reasons that I did really enjoy it was I didn't see the twist coming. A lot of times I do. I, unfortunately, especially when it comes to like psychological stuff, I will see it coming. I didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, now The Dark Hours is definitely a film I can say a lot of people haven't seen because it kind of got squashed by production companies when it first came out. So it kind of got lost in the mix. And this would be one of those ones that, I discovered at Blockbuster and bought immediately after watching it. But I don't know if it would even kind of stand out on something like Netflix or Amazon because the cover art is not really fantastic. So it just kind of looks like a low budget movie that you watch and it has sound issues and all the other stuff.
Well, actually, speaking of like the cover art, when you got together our pile of movies that we were going to watch for this, I picked, I went up and I was like, what the hell is this? I don't even remember this movie. So I actually had to read the back of it and then like look it up because I didn't even remember it because the cover art is very forgettable.
Yeah.
The movie's not forgettable. The movie is really good, but the cover art does it no justice.
This is sort of a home invasion type of film. Not to the level that you would see like in The Strangers or some other movies that are like that. It is very good. Cast of characters really centers around 5 people throughout the entire movie. The tension is very well built up in this movie.
Yeah.
And in fact, there are scenes in this where, Sam did some things that I was like, wow, really? Like in the middle of the movie, there's going to be a fight scene. You know that has to happen. But during this fight scene, some of the choices that she was making is like, wow, you bitch. Are you the protagonist or the antagonist? I couldn't tell with the way she was acting some of those times.
Yeah. But then you find out why. So.
Yeah. Now, the patient and son combination was very good. So this is another movie kind of like Would You Rather, where there's a father-son duo kind of, bouncing off each other and directing traffic on how things are going. So that was done as very well too. And I thought the guy that played the main antagonist, he was excellent.
He was excellent. He was really, really good in that role. So they showed him in the beginning.
Yeah, she's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, she's a psychiatrist, and he was a former patient of hers, and he just played that role really well. And the son, his son, in some ways, like you did feel bad for him because, it's his dad. And his dad is mentally ill. So that's tough.
Yeah.
Having to deal with a mentally ill parent. And I kind of got the impression that was like his only parent. I don't really think he had a mom around. So this is what he's dealt with. Like, this is the hand he was dealt. He's got this mentally ill father who's like in and out of psychiatric hospitals and, that whole mess. And so it's kind of like, oh, my dad's a bad guy, but he's my dad and I love him and I should do what he says. And he fights with that. I think, like, the entire movie, he really does. He does struggle with that.
Yeah. Now, for home invasion movies, this is going to be unlike any other ones that you've watched before. Yeah. So it is worth checking out because it's not like everything else.
No.
And maybe you will predict it. And if you do, well, let us know in the comments if you figured it out, because we didn't figure it out. I know I figured out other movies.
Yeah.
That were like this, that I can't mention the names of because it would give away the entire movie. So I can't even compare this to anything.
Yeah, but we didn't figure this one out. That's what one of the first things I said is I did not see the twist coming.
You didn't kind of remember when you were watching it the second time.
Yeah, I know. I made a couple of comments. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, I didn't even, I didn't even remember. And that's great. Yeah. So it was like watching it all over again, like brand new. There is, like we mentioned with Hills Have Eyes, there is a dog. So if you're a dog lover, an animal lover, just be warned.
Yep. So what do you rate this film? Let us know by putting your rating in the comments. If I come across the link for this movie, I will drop it down below for you so you can find it. It's easy to order online. It's worth ordering and owning in your collection. And you'll go back to it and put some space in there. I remembered how the movie went, but Jenn didn't. So put some space in between there, and maybe you'll forget, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!" all over again.
Yeah.
Also, what else are you watching this month for Halloween? Are you going out trick or treating? What snack foods do you eat while you're watching this? Is it popcorn, rum? That's not a snack food.
I mean, it can be. I guess.
Goobers, Raisinets, whatever. Let us know in those comments, and
don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share.
Yes. Let's talk about a movie that probably nobody's heard about, deserves some TLC, and until tomorrow.
See ya.